How to batch create AI concept art based on photos or photo packs. This is the idea of this video. I will show how you can set it up in ComfyUI free locally run it Flux. I'm using Flux 1. I'm not using Flux 2 because it's a lot heavier. With Flux 1, you can get away with 8 gigs to 24 gigs of VRAM on your computer and run it. Flux 2 right now is heavier than that and a lot slower. And the trade-off of the speed, I think right now is kind of crucial, especially if you're just idea generating. If you're unfamiliar with ComfyUI, I have a free introduction to ComfyUI on my Patreon. My name is Anthony. I've been a 3D artist for over 15 years. So previously I worked on our rivals. And before that, long time ago on Penguins Madagascar. Now I'm learning AI tools and sharing it on my channel. Let's go build the workflow. You can get it on my Patreon. However, there are no secrets. I will show how it works here during this video. Photos I'm using here coming from my photo pack, which I did for photoref.com. Again, if you want to see some of the stuff, the link in the description might be useful. I have this whole setup here. I will go step by step and explain what each node does. So the first I have load image batch node, and it can read extra details right here. But basically we are specifying folder and then it will go incrementally image by image for every image. And I have about 700 there and it will cycle them. And then every new image will be treated with AI. I have a preview here. You can also see the images are high quality. That's too much. We will be downsizing the images. And to downsize it, I'm actually using the Depth version 2 node. You can see here that we have the resolution 1024. What it means that the lower resolution side of the image, in this case 2578 pixels, to downres to 1024, and the longer side will be downres accordingly as well, proportionally. Depends if you have a portrait image or landscape image, it will all be downscaled properly and accordingly to this specified resolution. Sometimes it can be a good idea to drop the resolution to 768 to have faster generations. However, it is up to you. I usually keep it to 1024. You can see I'm using this particular model, Depth Anything version 2, which you can find in the ComfyUI manager. And I will go to, and by the way, I have actually a more updated manager. It still shows me the old version. I don't know why. I'll go to model manager and I will look for that Depth version 2. You can see this is the depth I used. This is the heaviest one, the biggest one, supposed to give the best result. After you download it, just reload ComfyUI, reload the browser page. You don't need to restart ComfyUI, and you can then get it from the drop down menu. I am just previewing this, that I'm getting the correct resolution. You can see here my new resolution, and also just a general preview that everything is working correctly. It's a troubleshooting node basically. And I have this get node here. This get image size node, it's passing the resolution to the empty latent image, and in that way, we don't have to type in our resolution or pass it manually. This is done automatically. And empty latent image is our canvas. This is where all the magic is happening in the latent space. It's our blank states, our blank noise that we'll get later then transformed into the image. Depth Anything image goes into the Apply Flux ControlNet from Xlabs node pack. We get the image in the node. However, this image needs to be processed by another model. In this case, this is a Flux Depth ControlNet version 3, which you also have to go and find in the model manager, and Flux Depth ControlNet. There we go. I have the Xlabs AI one downloaded. You can just press on that, download it, and then reload your browser, reload your page. It will be in the drop-down menu right here. We have to have it for Flux to understand what we are dealing with. The strength is a very important parameter. If the strength is low, it will give more creative freedom to Flux, to the prompt. If it is below 50, it will basically become random. It will be a random image, very loosely based on whatever you input in. If you go to 1 or 100%, it will be burning the image. It will give you artifacts. It will be too much. For me personally, I found a sweet spot to be like 80%, 80. For SDXL, for example, when I work with SDXL, my sweet spot is also different. I lower it to like 60. It always depends on a particular model you deal with, and you can play with higher, low values depending on your tasks or depending if you want to just experiment more. Then this goes into the XLab sampler, this ControlNet conditioning. It goes into the ControlNet condition of the XLab sampler. I will talk about it again later. Let's talk about the low diffusion model. In this case, I'm using Flux 1 dev. I'm using FP8 weight type. So they're FP16 and FP8. FP8 is faster. It's more optimized for low VRAM. I do have 24 gigs of VRAM, but I go with FP8 just in case if my VRAM is busy with other tasks, it will not stall or anything like that. Then I have the prompt group, and you can see here I have a dual clip loader and clip L, and these two models which you also can get from Model Manager and download them. Just copy the name, copy paste, and reload the page. You will get them from the drop down and go ahead. It's also FP8, so it is more optimized. And by the way, if you ever wondered why do we need the clip models, they guide the vector of noise, so they help to guide direction and diffusion models using the words and word weights to pixels. This is what my lame understanding of that process, and I don't really need to dig any deeper. And you can see my prompt here. Pretty sure I just used like ChatGPT to generate a prompt and then edit it and remove some of the stuff that I didn't like. That goes into the Flux guidance. The more guidance, the more the image gets burnt. So this 3 points is okay. A negative prompt, honestly, it doesn't matter. Flux doesn't use the negative prompt. I have it from some old experiments from before, and we kind of have to have it present, but it does not affect the image. And that all goes into the Xlabs sampler node. Xlabs is our main node that's going to take all the inputs and create the final image. You can see here, if you want to read a little bit more through all the parameters, I have them here in the comment. I use noise seeds at increment values, so every new image will be numbered like consequently, 19, 20, 21. It helps for general tracking of how many images are generated, and I don't like to get numbers which are like 10 trillion, 4 quadrillion, all that stuff. The steps is the quality of the image. I found that 25 steps is my sweet spot. Over 50 is diminishing returns. You don't want to go over 50. It doesn't change the image. Increases the time. Everything else you don't really need to touch. And then we go to the VA decode. We are decoding from latent space to pixels. And in this case, we are using VA load nodes. Also, you can just get it from Model Manager. And it's pretty small, like 300 megabytes. That's going to decode our noise from latent space to pixels. That's plugged into this node. And then I have comparison from RGThree. I can just drag the slider and see before and after. And I really quite like the magic that's happening here, because it's really interpreting the image. And I honestly found that I do like to feed AI with extra information. If you give AI more information, it does help the final output. And I do like, we do have this tower. It's been transformed into the sci-fi tower, but it also adds the sci-fi background, sci-fi towers in the... I want to mention one particular renaming group. I grab a file name from the fora, and I pass it to a concatenation node. You can see here, I have the string here that gives the prefix to the file name, Flux Desert City. Then I get my original fora name, and let me run to get the name. And I got the name. You can see this is the original name. Then I concatenate it all together. I mean, it's a bit awkward naming, but it doesn't really matter. The reason I have this is to have a track of what I'm creating. I want to know what AI image was created on which fora. Then it's easy for me to understand what's going on and how they are linked. And then this all goes into the save file node, save image node, and then I get an image with the correct file name. This is the whole ComfyUI setup. Again, you can build it on your own, or you can get it at my Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching, and let's catch up in the next video. And a slick little side note that learning AI learning ComfyUI and learning everything that goes into it allowed me to build my own project. So recently I've launched a photo ripple where you can put 3 to 10 photos into one gift, a movie gift of color restoration and animation to your loved ones, like I did for my mom. Go check it out. It might be of use to you.